Okay, so we've already covered strength, power, and hypertrophy. We're going to be covering the last type of muscle quality that we care about that's a result of training. That's muscular endurance. Muscular endurance is an athlete, or in this case, a specific muscle group's ability to handle submaximal repeated contractions. So if you think about a runner, there's the whole thing about your cardiovascular endurance. It's your heart, your lungs, and sort of the vascular system of the body. But there's also whether or not the muscles that are involved in some kind of high repetition work like running can actually take that type of work. So this biases muscles that don't grow quite as much. If you're interested in growing muscle, very high repetition work as your first set at the very least is probably not going to be what you're targeting. You're going to be going for that sweet spot range about 8 to 12 reps. And endurance work is anywhere from, most sources are somewhere around the 15 range and on. So this is relatively high repetition stuff, but it's still not cardio. If you can do, let's say, 30 reps of something, that's muscular endurance, okay? That's very clearly in that range, even lower numbers like 20. So push-up tests are a classic upper body muscular endurance test. The typical rest times that are stated for muscular endurance are less than a minute. So you'll do a set, rest less than a minute, do a set, rest less than a minute. Obviously, this has a little bit of a cardiovascular component to it too. The other thing that's important to know is that you can throw an endurance set in after something like strength training if you've got the energy for it and it's not going to interfere with your ability to recover, meaning don't do too much work. But when you consider that it's going to be submaximal anyway, if I'm already maxed out a couple of times, I can probably get away with doing some more high repetition work just to build on the fatigue resistance of that particular muscle group. So you knock out a set of unilateral pull-ups or something like that, and then you could do some more, assisted pull-ups at the end, okay, just as an example. This also has applications in terms of things like grip endurance. So I like to throw in a grip endurance set at the end of my pull-up workouts. And I've started working on one-arm grip endurance just because I want it for things like climbing. If you want to go climb rope or climb a wall, you need to have solid endurance in your hands, your fingers, your forearms, that whole system. So it's a good idea to throw it in at the end of your strength training if you're just working on general fitness. Obviously, endurance athletes or some kind of sports-specific thing, that's a different story. But if you're looking for general fitness, start with the strength training, and then at the end you can do your more high endurance work. You can even do, and these are really fatiguing, you can do strength followed by hypertrophy followed by endurance. That's a program that I consider a bit too intense for most people. I personally have not used that in a while just because doing the combination of hypertrophy and endurance afterwards didn't seem to produce any real gains. Extra repetitions are not always better, but that is a topic I will cover in a different video. Anyway, guys, have a good day. Bye.